Hello and welcome to the Monroe Method Clancast. I am Jason Monroe. This is episode 154.
Joe Wicks. So there is something kicking around with Joe Wicks in it. All my nutritionist friends and people are quote unquote addressing it online. I don't really feel the need to. What I do feel the need to though is come at it from my angle. You know, everybody's getting upset about, what he said about protein bars. Like, something that you have to understand about Joe Wicks and all the celebrities like him. These people do not do their own thinking. In 2018, 2019, the body coach was a big thing. But it was also a big problem. So I don't know if anybody remembers. Maybe you did it. But he did this thing. I can't remember what it was called, but was it just the body coach? So I had hundreds, literally hundreds, because that's what things were like in 2018, 2019, with what I do when I was only charging people 10 quid a month. Hundreds of people were piling in every month. There was a big problem because here's the same story, right? It was the same for every person. Hi, when I ask them tell us about yourself, tell us about your history. I've just been doing the body coach. That's it. I'm a 90-day SSS graduate. But I've put all the weight back on. And the story went like this. It was the same thing every bloody time. I did the 90-day whatever. I did the body coach 90-day program. I did the workouts. I did the recipes. I lost X amount of weight. And I felt great. And they all said the same bloody thing. But the exercise was unsustainable. Cool. The problem is, because I'm not... and some of them realised that some of them didn't. If you do something for 90 days, if you start eating a certain way for 90 days, if you're following a recipe book and changing your food shop and changing your meal plans and following this thing... 90 days is enough time for that to become your new routine. The things that you did before have gone out the window. Your usual shopping started to change. You're buying more of this, more of that, less of this, less of that. You've started to put together these kind of weekly meal plans where you're having this meal and that meal. I remember, I posted about this way back in 2018-19. That was like my content back then. And I put together one of the recipes. I'll never forget it. It was a chicken and chorizo rice dish. I know, because I ate it. I bought the Body Coach book well before I became a nutritionist to follow the recipes and not do any of the exercise. But this one recipe, chicken and chorizo something rice. I don't think it was a risotto, but something like that. And it was 12 or 1,300 calories a portion. Now the problem with these recipes was that the book was put together for people doing an incredibly high level of intense exercise. So, in order to be able to eat these recipes and lose weight at the same time, your output had to exceed it. If you're eating a 1,300 calorie dinner, just dinner, and then you've got lunch, and then you've got breakfast, how much exercise do you have to be doing? And this is the problem. So many people couldn't keep up with the exercise, but now they had this new eating routine, this new diet, this new eating plan. So because they remove the calorie burn, but they keep all the calories going in, guess what happened to all these people and why they came to work with me? Their weight started shooting up. The point I want to make is, and this does not just apply to Joe Wicks, right? This is something that is a huge problem today, across the board. Joe Wicks is not a nutritionist. He is not nutritionally qualified. He does not have a nutrition background. I believe he has a sports science background, which isn't really helpful. Like it's a bit like what they get taught about nutrition on their personal training qualification. It's a very, very broad overview. This is protein. This is what protein does. This is calories. But they don't get specific education on it. And he also has a personal training qualification. Remove the name Joe Wicks and what do you have? The same guy you have on every other Instagram post talking about nutrition with their exercise background. The difference is Joe Wicks is a celebrity. He's a multi-millionaire. And he does not run his own business. He's not like me sitting in an office in his house doing the emails and doing the website and doing the marketing and posting before and out. He's not doing that. He's the face. He's the face behind the brand, and he has a team. And his team will feature the people that do a lot of his thinking for him. He's just the one that goes out and says, right, here's what my team has told me to say. He didn't write his recipe books. He didn't put those recipes together. He's not a chef. He's not a nutritionist. In the same way that all these... Do you know, it happened again this morning. This is something that I get a little bit annoyed about. So there is I posted about this a couple of weeks ago, actually. There is a pathway to making a lot of money online as a nutritionist or a personal trainer. Lots of people have recognised it, and lots of people have went with it. It doesn't necessarily make them bad people. Some of them might actually be good coaches, but I have had far too many reports now. Like I said, it's not quite hundreds of people every month anymore, but dozens of people every month coming in. I see all these backgrounds, all these histories. I get told about all these different coaches, all these different programs. So I've got a lot of insight into who's the good guy and who are the bad guys. And the sad, sad truth is there are not enough good guys out there. So here's the pathway, right? People will watch a viral recipe. So you'll see a video of them standing with their own phone in their hand, watching somebody else make a recipe. And they're basically piggybacking that person's content, right? I'm going to take your content because you got 2.5 million views. I'm going to use it, but it's going to be a little video inside my video. And because your video did well, and your video's in my video is going to do well. So, and all it is, it's here's me recording myself making a recipe that you recorded yourself making. That's all it is. And these people build massive followings. And then they do that cringy face at the end with the OK sign and go, oh, that's banging. Save this for later. Follow me if you like recipes. No, what you mean is follow me if you like watching other people make other people's recipes. Why not say, if you like recipes, go follow the person, because I didn't make this. I'm not a chef. I didn't come up with this. There's a couple of guys who are local to me who have built this empire on recipes. Now, these guys are not chefs. They're personal trainers. They're not nutritionists. They are people who found... They caught on to this years ago, who found recipes online and started making them. And I don't know what it is, but the recipe market is mental. It is so insanely crazy that people go crazy for recipes. I don't get it. I'll never get it. And I think the reason I don't get it is because I know that a lack of recipes is not somebody's problem with weight loss. So when, excuse me, when I post stuff online, I post content based on the struggles that I know people have with their weight. So if you see a personal trainer or a fitness coach or a nutritionist posting viral recipes, you need to look beyond that and say, wait a minute, like, why is this person posting? What's the purpose of this post? Is this going to help me with my emotional eating? This person says that they help people stop yo-yo dieting forever and blah, 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 and balance their hormones and reset their metabolism and drop 10 kilos in 10 weeks, right? And you read in their bio, and then you go to their content, to their Instagram reels, and here's a video with 1.4 million views. Oh, wow, this must be a really good one. This must be about yo-yo dieting. No, it's a recipe for a TikTok wrap. Cool, right. How does that help me stop yo-yo dieting? It doesn't. That's the person trying to make money. And I hate it. I really hate it. And it annoys me that we live in a world where people can't see that, where things like that are not transparent enough for people to see through it. You know, it pisses me off, right? It pisses me off. It annoys me. It bugs me. It's just something. It's one of those many, many things about the yo-yo diet industry that annoys me. But Joe Wicks, coming back to that thing, like I said, I've not watched it. I will not watch it. It's a bit like you coming home from work and then sitting watching YouTube videos about your job. I don't watch anything nutrition related on TV, because what is TV? TV is entertainment. Entertainment is exaggerated and amplified and overplayed. Like, all the things that have come off over the years, the game changers, remember that? The vegan thing on Netflix that was backed by lots of vegans. All these vegans poured money into it, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had a vegan supplement company at the time. Don't know if he still does. All these people who stood to benefit from it financially. God, no wonder people are confused. I feel so bad for you guys. Because, you probably think that you can spot a fraud a mile away. Oh, there's one of those guys that's trying to sell snake oil. And then Joe Wicks comes on your TV and says, yeah, you should stop eating protein bars, guys. Do you know, he posted a video the other day, and again, I don't follow him. I saw somebody else share a video of him. And he's like, oh, guys, I was doing so well with my cutting sugar out my diet. I was doing so great. But I gave in, and I've just had loads of whatever. And I'm like, is this real life? You are promoting disordered eating. I'll give you another one. This video popped up, and it was some guy. Oh, let me think. Something health. Tony Health. Tonic Health. Health Tonic. This guy popped up. I didn't think that this was a thing anymore, but one of these guys walking around supermarkets, especially Marks and Spencer's, picking the stuff up. Hey guys, look at this bread, guys. One of those people. So he's in fact, I can probably repeat the video word for word, because I watched it a few times, because I was going to post something about it, and I thought, oh, fuck it, I can't be bothered giving these people airtime. But he posted a video, and it was, what food was it? Crisps. And it was something like, hey guys, I don't know about you, but I'm just like you guys. I love crisps. I love the crunch, but I can't keep these in the house because I'm just like you guys. If I have these in the house, I'll give in. I can't resist temptation and I'll eat them all, right? And this video was 30 seconds long, and he spent the first 15 seconds, half the video, revealing his own disordered eating habits. And then the last 15 seconds was about, yeah, but if you are going to eat crisps, these are the healthy ones, buy these. But he spent the first 15 seconds telling you all about his disordered eating. I don't know about you guys, but if I open this bag of crisps, I'm going to eat the whole thing. But I don't keep them in the house, because if I do keep them in the house, I can't resist temptation and I'll just eat it all. And people watch that and think, yeah, that's just like me. That's like totally normal, because here's this guy with hundreds of thousands of followers called Health, and he does it too. Whereas someone like me will look at that and say, fucking hell, that guy has got massive disordered eating issues. He's out here preaching health. He's meant to be a leader, a teacher, an educator, and yet he's encouraging disordered eating. Because who will watch it? Somebody will watch that and say, oh, that's actually a good idea. Maybe if I just don't keep crisps in the house, then I won't binge on them, then I won't eat them all. Maybe I could do that with other food. Maybe if I stop bringing cakes home and chocolate and biscuits, I'll be able to control my eating because I have no control over myself. Even and like I said, this guy's got health in his name. Like, you might not realize it, but I've done loads of business courses and shit over the years, and like, especially when you're someone who works online, they'll be like, right, the first thing we're going to do is set up your Instagram bio, because the first impression people are going to get of you is your name. What's your name? My name used to be Monroe.Nutrition. I got advised to remove the dot because it looked better. It looked more impactful. That's why it's now Monroe Nutrition. Or was it underscore? Might have been underscore. And then your Instagram bio, what do? You have to give the right impression. Okay, somebody taps on one of your videos. And this is the thing, right? If somebody taps on one of my videos, I don't have viral recipes. I don't have anything that does not match what I do, if that makes sense. Like, I don't follow a trend to get 1 million views. The reason for that is that if I make and this is why I've kind of tried not to go too much down the comedy route, because I don't want people coming for a laugh. What I mean by that is, if somebody's going to follow me, I want my people to follow me. I want people who need the help with the thing that I help with following me, not people who like a laugh. Not people who like a laugh at the expense of Slimming World or Weight Watchers. Like, I could, and I have thought about this in the past, like I could start recording comedy sketches of me sitting in a Slimming World meeting, switching back and forward between the consultant and whatever. But then what happens, you end up with a bunch of people who don't necessarily need help or want to work with you, following you, engaging with your stuff, and then your content starts getting pushed out to all the wrong people. And that's what happens with these recipe books, right? These people have hundreds of thousands of followers. I had a friend once who blew up online, and I mean blew up. His videos, he posted a few videos about something, and he got hundreds of thousands of views. One of them broke 1 million. He was getting 1,000 followers a day, and he was struggling to make his mortgage payments. Likes and follows and shares do not help a person earn a living online. Putting your content in front of the right person who needs help with the thing that you are very good at, who reads and watches and listens to your stuff and says, do you know what, he's right, that's exactly what I struggle with. And then they send you a message, or they click on your website, and then you have a new client. You have, I used to worry about talking about this stuff because it sounds so, I don't know, everything feels like it's scammy online, doesn't it? The amount of people who comment, TikTok's a horrible place, but the amount of people who comment on my TikToks and they're like, yeah, but I bet you're making money off the problem. I'm like, no, this is what I do. This is my job. Sorry for getting an education, creating a business where I help people with a specific problem, getting very good at it, and God forbid a person post content online about it. So yeah, you need to get, I'm getting deja vu as I walk around this specific bit of the walk, where I know I spoke about this recently, where I said that when you become a business owner, you start to become very cynical and skeptical, and you see through a lot of things. You can't just enjoy something for what it is. You kind of look beyond it. And you're like, yeah, what is the purpose of this? What is this trying to scam me into or sell me? So Joe Wicks is not doing his own thinking. Joe Wicks is being given information and said, right, here's what you're going to say on camera. Here's the conversation that we're going to have. I'm going to talk about this, you'll talk about that, and then that'll open the door for me to talk about this. So, from what I can gather, it's about ultra-processed foods. Wow. What a shocker. Ultra-processed foods are not great for you. Who knew? Fucking everybody. Ultra-processed foods are very cheap to make, very easy to make. They can be produced at mass. The thing that you have to understand is that the production of these foods is not the problem. Your overconsumption of these foods is the problem. I said this recently about, paracetamol. Take 2 paracetamol, it'll make a headache go away. Take 50 paracetamol and you put yourself in the hospital. It's all in the dose. It's all in the balance. If your diet is comprised entirely of ultra-processed foods, you are going to be an exceptionally unhealthy person. Not just because of the processed foods, but because of all the stuff that you're not getting. And this is the part that I don't think people get. Like, we're not saying that eating these foods is the problem. We're saying that the foods that you're eating these in place of is the problem. If someone says, I need a snack, and they go and get a packet of crisps instead of an apple, it's not about making the healthier choice or the best choice. It's that those crisps have replaced an apple. That was a piece of fruit you might have eaten today. It might have been the only piece of fruit that you've eaten today, but instead you've had 3 biscuits, a packet of crisps, and a chocolate cereal bar thing. That's been your snacks. For your meals, instead of having, I don't know, some cereal and fruit or a yogurt or whatever, you went and got this thing out of McDonald's for your breakfast. Yeah, it's got some protein in it, but that's about it. You should know by now, if you've listened to enough of these, or if this is your first time listening, welcome. I don't always rant about people like this. But you should know now that these foods are not a problem. I eat McDonald's breakfasts. I eat crisps. I eat biscuits. I eat chocolate. I eat cereal bars. But I don't eat them all day, and I don't eat them every day. They're a part of my diet, not my whole diet. You'll know from following me, I don't post them that much anymore, because honestly I feel like it's boring, but I did last night actually. I had a lovely Chinese pork stir fry. Something that amazes me is the amount of people who message me, recipe please, recipe please. I'll post a dinner, I'm like, recipe? Who do you think I am? Joe Wicks. I don't do recipes. I throw shit in a pan and that's it. For example, I was in Aldi at the fridge section. They had these Chinese marinated pork loin steak things. Picked them up. Vegetable section, I picked up their bag of pre-mixed stir-fry stuff. I can't remember. It's something in edamame beans. Something in edamame beans. And I picked up a couple of sachets of chow mein sauce. And I had some noodles at home. That was it. That was the recipe. Chopped up the pork, chopped the fat off, threw it in the frying pan, cooked that a bit, put the bag of mixed veggies on top, cooked that a bit, threw the sauce in. Done. Boiled the noodles, put them on the bottom, put the stuff on top. That's the recipe. People think that I do sometimes, but people think that I create elaborate recipes. I am a huge fan of convenience. I'm a busy guy like most of you. I run a business, I've got hundreds of clients, I've got 2 kids, 2 dogs, house to look after, school runs to do, dinners to make, dogs to walk. The last thing I want to be doing, like most of you, is spending ages in a kitchen. Sometimes I'll have time for it, and I will make something from, in fact, not sometimes, quite often, I will make things from scratch. But there are also ways of making things from scratch that don't involve you doing all of the work, such as buying a pork loin steak that already has a marinade on it. Buying a bag of stir-fry mix instead of buying 6 different vegetables and chopping them all up. Which is technically a processed food, by the way. By definition, a processed food is any food that goes through a process. So if something's in a tin, if your fruit's already peeled and chopped up for you and given to you in a bowl, like a melon medley, or I get little bags of fruit to put in the kids' bags, the sliced apple and grapes from Aldi, 29p. Great little things to throw in a lunchbox. Especially when your kids have got loose teeth. Apples are a tricky one when your kids' teeth are falling out and going through that age of losing them all. So buying the pre-cut stuff's pretty good. But anyway, that's still technically a processed food. It's not ultra processed, but it's still processed. It's went through a process before it got to you. Those pork loin steaks were a processed food. Somebody has cut them up, or a big machine has done it, I don't know. It's been cut up into slices, it's been dumped in a pile of marinade, then it's been put in a container for me to buy. That's all a process. But if your diet is entirely comprised of ultra-processed foods, do you genuinely, honestly need me to tell you that that's not great? Of course you don't. You're not a fucking idiot. I posted about this recently where, people think that they're overweight because they're stupid. You're not stupid. You know these things. The problem is you've just created a lot of attachments, a lot of habits. You're tired all the time. You're exhausted all the time. You're busy all the time. You feel like you don't get enough time for yourself. Maybe you feel like you're constantly looking after other people. And here are these convenient, simple, easy, quick, tasty options Do you know another thing that annoys me? Since I'm in an annoyed mood, people who complain about healthy eating and how expensive it is. Now, before you get annoyed by that, let me explain what I mean. Most people don't understand what healthy eating is. That's the first big problem, right? People do not understand the balance. People think that in order for me to eat healthy, I need to be spending 50 quid a month on fruits and vegetables. It's not the case at all. People don't understand balance. And people are also all or nothing thinkers, where I'm either going to have lots of fruits and veg in my diet or none. Like, they don't think, well, I could just have one piece of fruit a day. I could spend £2 on these apples and eat one apple a day for the next 6 days. But they don't think like that. You know, it's either all in or all out. And the problem is that this whole eating healthy is expensive narrative then gets repeated and spread. People then believe it. Oh, well, that's, you know, they'll use it as a get out clause, as a get out of jail free card. Oh, well, I don't make a lot of money, so I don't need to eat fruit and vegetables. But you'll still spend fucking £2 a day on cans of Monster. That's what I don't get. I live in an area that's not by any means upmarket. Like most places, it has its kind of rough areas. There is a shop that I go into, and I'm not going to say it's a poverty area, but it's certainly a low income area. And I don't understand where people find the money to go into, because I wouldn't do it. Who is spending £2.35 a day on a can of Monster? Who is spending £2.10 a day on a can of Red Bull? I think about a lot of these things. It's just the way I am. I'm a keen observer of human behaviour. I like to think about the way, or try to understand the way that people think. Like, what makes it easy for someone to spend £20 on 3 vapes that they'll get through in 3 days and have to buy more? What is it that makes people easily spend £50 a week on vaping? I had a friend spending £400 a month on cigarettes. £400 a month on cigarettes. But also complain about how they've got no money. Like that, obviously I'll never understand, because I never have been and never will be a smoker or a vapor, right? I don't get it. But from the outside, it's wild to me when people can afford to spend the money on these things. Oh, there's a squirrel. It's a red one. Oh, I'm buzzing about that. I have only ever seen the grey ones here. Please stay there till I get a picture. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. That's made me really happy. I thought they were all gone because the grey ones don't make it easy for the red ones. It's nice to see they're still in these woods. That was lovely. I feel happy after that. But yeah, he's constantly skint. He's got a great job, by the way. Manager of something. Probably on about 60 or 70k a year. But by the time he's paid his bills, child maintenance, £400 on cigarettes, he also drinks a fair bit. You know, complaining about how expensive, you know, when we complain about how expensive something is, we all have different opinions on that. I'll give you a great example. I am wearing a Rab jacket right now that I bought in 2018. It was one of my first business expenses, once I understood what business expenses were. And it probably cost like 200 and something, low 200s. Now that's not, I would never spend £200 on a jacket, but it wasn't my money, right? It was business money. But it taught me something about the value of things, because think about what I just said there. I'm wearing a Rab jacket right now that I bought in 2018, March 2018. It's October 2025. I am still wearing this jacket. I've sent it back to Rab twice for 2 repairs. That's a thing, by the way. One was a tear in my office on a door handle. No, when I had an office in a shed. When I converted my shed, there was a little snaggy bit. The other was a dog claw. So it's had 2 repairs, but I still wear it. Still wear it out sometimes in the winter. I have a pair of wellies, which, very sadly, I bought 3 things at the same time, right? A Northern Rock backpack, which was about 90 quid. These wellies, I can't remember the name, it's got a V in it. Fancy ones, I think they were like 110. And this jacket. And it's 2025. The wellies just broke a few months ago, which made me sad. And I still use the Northern Rock backpack pretty much every other day. It's been to multiple countries with me on multiple trips. It's carried my laptop everywhere. My laptop. I bought my laptop in 2019. I spent $2,500 on it. Still have it. It's still excellent. And because I bought a good one, it still runs fine and will do for many years. Oh, the dogs are now chasing a grey squirrel. The point is that when you invest in something, you get a big payback for it. I've had this jacket for 7 years. You could go on to Temu or Shein or wherever. You know, some people buy a winter coat every year. Sometimes it's just because they like having a new winter coat for the year, but sometimes it's because the last one's done. They got one winter out of it. Because it was cheap, because it wasn't fit for the job, because it was more about the look than the functionality. I've had to unzip this jacket because I'm bloody roasting. That's how much it still insulates. You know, when you invest in something, you get a good return on it. And I posted about this not too long ago. Well, actually, maybe a year ago. And it was a picture of my rab jacket, my wellies, and my backpack saying what I just told you. You'll have your own, I posted it and said how much they all cost brand new and said, you'll all have your own thoughts about how expensive this is. Like some people wouldn't dream of spending more than a tenner on a pair of wellies from a cheap shop. Like Home Bargains, pair of wellies, 12 quid. How long are those going to last? And I suppose it's fine. If you don't put them on very often, it's a once in a blue moon thing. Cool, you might get a while out of them. But I've walked miles and miles and miles in those wellies. Every day it was raining, dog walk. Washing the car, wellies. Pressure washing the drive, the back garden, anything, wellies. I got years of wear out of them, of hard use. And I will buy a new pair of the same ones because they were so good. But the value of something depends on the person. If you don't place much value on your health, then of course you're not going to spend money on it. I cannot ever imagine not eating vegetables. Like, it terrifies me. I guess one of the benefits I've got is that I work with people from their 20s right up into people in their 70s. You know, they'll give me their diet history and they'll show me their what their diet looks like. Most people have the same things in common. Their diets are very high in carbs, very high in sugar, very high in fat. Fat being the kind of worst one for me. I know people always bang on about sugar, but for me, dietary fat is a way bigger problem than sugar right now. And it always has been, in my opinion. And then they'll go on to tell me about their, because I ask people about their medical history. Is there anything I need to know? And it's like, yeah, I've got high blood pressure, I'm pre-diabetic. I'm starting to show early signs of osteoarthritis and osteoporosis and like this big list of things. And it's like, and then they'll say, I'm a very fussy eater. I don't really like fruit and vegetables and I don't really like exercise and I'm doing 3,000 steps a day. I've looked at enough of these now to know that there is a connection between people who do not have great diets and do not move very much and what that looks like later in life. I'm 40 years old. I don't want to be listing all my health issues in 10 years' time or 15 years' time. I don't want to be 57 years old with achy joints and struggling to get out of bed and all these things. So, like, the reason I'm saying it like that is that it's not to shame anyone into thinking like me. It's to show you that that's how I think. That's the value that I place on my health. And that's why I do what I do today. Somebody posted in the group the other day, like, how do you guys cope with your emotions without eating? And it's very short-sighted. It's a great start point for a question. It's a great conversation to open up. But it's like, what do you guys, they cannot understand that there are people who don't eat chocolate when they're upset, if that makes sense, right? It is so automatic and ingrained in them that when I feel like this is what I do, because their parents, they fell and skinned their knee one day and their parents gave them a sweet. Or their pet hamster died and they were really upset, so the parents gave them chocolate or ice cream. No, the parent thinks they're doing a great thing, but really all you're doing is starting a relationship between when I feel like this, I reward myself with food. When I feel like this is how I feel better. So yeah, like I said, I don't say these things to shame people or make you think that you should take the same things seriously that I take seriously. It's not about that. I'm trying to show you, and if, I always worry about this, like people who work with me inside the Monroe Method know that we do not do shaming or judgment. We don't talk like that. I don't let people talk about themselves like that, let alone me talk to them like that. So I'm always conscious of how that might come across online, which is why I feel the need to explain it. But the point is, I'm trying to show you that when you will have multiple things in your life that you place a lot of value on, and you don't think twice about spending money on it. Like the person I know who doesn't think twice about going into a shop and buying a packet of cigarettes at 20 odd quid. If I go into a shop and buy bread and milk, I've spent £3 or £4. There are people stopping at shops every day. In fact, I seen an interview with a guy on the radio. He was a radio presenter himself. And they were talking about vaping. And he said, every morning I stop at the garage. And this is how I know you can get 3 of them for £20. He said, every morning I stop at the garage and I buy 3 of these for £20 every day. £140 a week on vapes. And he said something like, this is supposed to have however many puffs in it. He says, one of them's done by the time I get to work in the morning in the car. And by the end of the day, he's got his morning one, his midday one, then his nighttime one. And that's it done. He does not think twice about spending that money every single morning. Yet, ask someone to buy vegetables, ask someone to buy fruit. It feels like an expense. Think about your kids. Here's a brilliant example, right? My kids always go to the magazine section and pick up, I'm going to say this, they'll pick up these shitty magazines with stupid toys in them, and you look at the price and it's like £4.25. And I'm like, you're not even going to look at the magazine. You just want the little toy in the front. That's the reason they put the toys in the front, because they know kids are going to pick them up and go, look, mummy, look, daddy. And some parents are going to buy it. £4.25, £4.75 for the CBeebies magazine. And it's got a Bluey character on the front. Or here's a Lego magazine with a little Lego character. I'm calling it stupid and a waste of money, but my kid's like, that looks amazing, that looks fun. But there's things that I waste money on probably. But nothing springs to mind because I don't see anything as a waste of money, because whatever I'm spending money on is important to me, right? Here's I seen a video the other day, it was very funny. These parents were at a drive-through and they were ordering coffee, and the little girl in the back, and she must have been 5 or 6, little girl in the back says, can I have a cookie? And the mum went, no, we've got cookies at home. So the mum's thinking is, I don't want to go and spend money on a cookie because you can just get one at home. And the kid straight away clapped back, yeah, but we've got coffee at home. And the mum and dad just looked at each other and, yeah, and can we have a cookie as well, please? She got them. Really good. So we all place different value on different things. The more that you value your health, not the more you value your health, the more money you'll spend on it. But if you value your health, you will eat fruits and vegetables. You will eat a balanced diet. You will take care of it better. Now, that isn't to say if you don't value your health, you're not taking care of it. But there are different levels to value. Some people are, if you're willing to eat 1 piece of fruit a day, cool. If you're willing to eat 2 or 3 a day, it just comes down to how much value you're willing to place on your health. Right, that's enough for me because I'm home now. I don't feel like I quite got to end this properly, but until next time.